Hey guys, welcome back to the Q Effect. As you know, we like to highlight greatness from all walks of life, from all walks of the earth. Here I have Mr. George Satsidis here. Did I say that correctly?
Correct.
Okay,
Satsidis.
yes, I said it right.
It's a Greek name.
Yeah, he's from Greece, one of the places that one day I may retire, just letting y'all know once Gentle John is over, that's might be where I'm at. But we're here to highlight his greatness. He's been on red carpets all over the world. He is also uniting the United States, also Greece, just showing us what he does, but also he is highlighting and seeing so many actors, actresses, movie stars from all over the world, including Hollywood. So this man is busy. So to have him here on the Q Effect is a small asking, but I'm glad he's here. But we're going to dive deep into who he is, how he became so great, and what he's doing and what he's doing in the future. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you. Guys, don't he look amazing? I'm telling y'all, this brown skin, it don't crack now. So the first thing we want to know is like, where are you from? What was life like in Greece?
I'm a correspondent, so I broadcast on a daily basis and a weekly basis. I have a weekly show that I broadcast the latest news from Hollywood, red carpet premieres, movie interviews to Greece. Additional to that, I broadcast on a daily basis every night, which is morning in Greece, the latest Hollywood news. So it's a lot of work, plus other stuff that I'm doing, writing, editing, things like that. All about journalism and entertainment journalism specifically. So I was born, let's start from the beginning. I was born in Germany, in Munich. Then my parents relocated to Greece. And since I was a little kid, I really wanted to be a journalist. I really wanted to interview people. I had a great curiosity about people, not specifically stars. But then, while I was a kid, I was watching, CNN all the time. I've been buying Vanity Fair and similar magazines that, didn't make any sense at that time because I was a kid, like 7, 8 years old. And it was really, really weird that I was staying home reading magazines or being online and getting into this world of the movie industry and Hollywood glamour. But I was obsessed since I was a kid. And when I started as a writer, I was really good at it. And I didn't have any thoughts of being on camera. But then, while living in Greece, I got a proposal, and I started doing some reports that were really, really successful in terms of ratings. And then I started doing some interviews with some famous models and actors from abroad that were visiting Greece at the time, and that was it. Then they started sending me to Monaco, London, Paris, and then I started traveling to the US over and over again to interview actors and filmmakers. And then we decided, the network decided that it should be better because you're going to broadcast the Oscars to be located in Hollywood and broadcast everything from there.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest thing you did that actually got you to where you are today? Like, what was your first big break?
First big break. There were numerous interviews that I was able to book, execute, deliver with really demanding, sought-after personalities, and it was a triumph at the moment because I didn't have any connections. I didn't know agents. So and there were numerous celebrities. The celebrities were countless. But then I think the biggest milestone was the Oscars. When I moved to LA, I used to broadcast the Oscars from Greece as being the voice of the Oscars. So the whole ceremony, I was translating the whole ceremony and commenting on the whole ceremony live. And then I said, I think we should do the red carpet. We thought at the time that it would be impossible. And then what I did is that I also bombarded the Oscars organization with and production with emails that I want to do the red carpet. of course, I belong to a network that broadcasted the Oscars, and they really respected it. And then they gave us the spot, and then that was the biggest thing, because I started broadcasting live from the red carpet to another continent.
That is amazing.
Yes, but I am not ashamed, and I don't stop. Whenever somebody says no to me, I keep being kind, but I keep bombarding this person with emails. I never stop.
And that's what resilience is, and that's why you've built such a name for yourself. Is you just don't take no for an answer, because what you're doing is sharing lives and showing people in other continents what life is like here. Because I feel like people are living through you from Greece.
Exactly. and I think that the agents or the actors or the filmmakers, they get something really genuine from me, because it's not about me promoting myself. It's a pure, authentic curiosity to learn about them and broadcast their message to the audience. I don't put myself ahead from them.
And so, and with saying that, because I know you've done so many interviews.
Yes.
But I want to know one of each, both male and female, which was the best interview that just left you in awe, that just affected you the most? Because I know you've done a lot, but I know that's a hard question.
It's a hard question because I have interviewed almost everyone from Jennifer Aniston to Leo DiCaprio, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt. The list is endless. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is a very clever man. He's a good guy. The interview that I executed wasn't easy for him because I asked him questions that were really hard, and I didn't have the right to do it as a European journalist on a press junket. It was about an upcoming movie that he had at the time, and I asked him, people consider that you are a playboy. What's going on? And things like, and he was so kind, and he gave his truth, his answers were so genuine that I was really stunned. And then I met him also outside of the press event, and he was really, really nice. He's a super nice guy and very genuine and very talented. Mm-hmm. Angelina Jolie is also another person that is very inspiring. Jennifer Aniston, I have done multiple interviews with her, and she was always very kind, very genuine. And because she's Greek American, and she has spent years living in Greece, she speaks Greek. So I remember when I met her at the Critics' Choice, and I yelled something at her, which is "Γεια σου, τι κάνεις, hi, how are you?" And she answered back in Greek, and that was really fun, mm-hmm. for the audience. There are so many stories.
Did you know at the time that she could speak Greek fluently?
Oh, yes, I knew that. Because I have done interviews in the past one-on-one with her, and we, before we start filming, we were talking in Greek, and it's so funny.
That's awesome.
It's so funny, yeah.
Okay, so what is hello in Greek?
Yasu.
Yasu.
Yes.
Okay, so when I go to Greece, I'm gonna have to hit you up for a little bit of language, because I know when I go to a different country, I do like to know a little bit of their language just to get by, because they do appreciate you trying. So I want to try. So I will definitely hit you up for that.
Yes.
So you're also known for being calm and confident. How are you able? Was it harder when you first got here to be confident in what you were doing versus now when you're meeting these types of stars?
When I got here, I started being a broadcaster from the U.S., a correspondent officially. I had a great experience. I was traveling the world. I was hosting a TV show in New York for the Greek American network Mega TV, and this network was huge to the Greek Americans in Canada and the U.S. and Australia. So I had done so much work that I was pretty confident. But when I came to LA, of course I felt lonely. I've been visiting a lot to cover stuff for for big studios like Warner Brothers and Netflix. But when I moved, of course, it was a lonely journey. I had to start from scratch, meeting people like agents, PR companies, bombarding them with my resume and what I have done. Mm-hmm. And because my interviews always have depth and substance, people really appreciated, not all of them and quickly, but the industry really appreciated my genuine passion. And what I love the most is the red carpet premieres or the Oscars or the Golden Globes that I cover also, or the Critics' Choice, because it's live. It's such a great experience to stop all these people and have brief conversations that can be substantial and fun at the same time.
Yeah. Was there any event or interview that just gave you chills? You're just like, I can't believe I got to speak to this person, get to know them, and whatever time segment that was.
You know, that was really, really early in my career. When I first started working, I had I was always covering also the royal family of England. So when I started working, I always wanted to explore more about what happened to Princess Diana. So I set up an interview at the time with Mohammed Al Fayed, the father of Dodi Al Fayed, the man that died with Diana in the crash in Paris. So I had a fantastic interview with him that he was crying and revealing his story, his side of the story about the tragic death. So that was a milestone very early that people, my colleagues were stunned. I mean, how did you do it? How did you find this man? So yeah, that was the very, very beginning. But I was, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm attracted to drama. I'm attracted to real life stories, crime stories sometimes. So there's something beyond the stardom and the celebrity fun interviews. I'm looking for substance. And, if Greece was a bigger country, I could do even more in another direction, in another field.
What would that have been?
More investigative.
Okay.
I'm a Scorpio, I told you.
That's true. So has there ever, because I know even in your field, has there ever been a situation where things didn't go as planned and you had to just wing it and turn it around yourself and just turn a negative experience into a positive? Have you ever had that kind of experience?
Yes, of course. I've been working more than 15 years, and it's of course there are ups and downs. Financial crisis back to Greece, 2008, 2011, 12. I mean, very hard years. So my decision also to come to the U.S. and becoming a broadcaster, correspondent, was because Greece started being eliminated from the big studios at the time, not now. Now everything is almost back to normal. So I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have been a correspondent in LA to get these interviews with these A-list actors. So my job, my field would have died a while ago if I hadn't done that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to things like that, like, has there ever been someone that you looked up to that was already in this field? Did you have any mentors, anyone that gave you advice?
Well, growing up, I used to love opera. And when I met her here, I mean, the vibe was fantastic with her.
Yeah.
I always stop her on the red carpet. I mean, she can go away. I don't let her go away when I meet her. And she has a fantastic vibe. She's such a nice woman and so talented. So she has always been an inspiration for me, although I'm a man and she's a woman, So that she was a big inspiration because of her truth, but also, all the late night show hosts, the way they deliver the news. I mean, American television is always a great inspiration.
That's awesome. And then, so I know, besides this, you're working on other things yourself, because I know you can't seem to rest. So what else are you doing for us to know about?
Oh my God. There's an upcoming podcast that I'm going to do, uniting even more the Greek American community with Greece. That's in the works. But I'm always a writer. I write for Harper's Bazaar, for Esquire. I've been editor-in-chief in different magazines in the past. So there's a lot of work behind, Yeah. So I can do post-production, I can do behind-the-scenes work, and then I can be on camera.
So in this field, I mean, you're literally competing against other people that do the same thing you do. what keeps you mentally grounded? Say, for instance, you had an interview you wanted with someone, you didn't get it. Have you ever had that instance? Like, how do you, like, mentally, okay, I didn't get that one, but you just keep going. Much like actors are when they are not getting the role that they've wanted.
It's a very competitive field, and I have to compete most of the time with American networks that they have much bigger access. But I never stop. I will find a way. Maybe I will miss one-on-one interview, but then I will find this person on the red carpet and stop this person and talk to him or her and get what I want. But I never, I never feel discouraged. I'm optimistic, and I keep up good spirits, and I never stop. That's it, yeah.
How do you keep yourself, like, because I know you also are into fitness as well.
Yes.
How do you balance all of this? Because you're literally working for Greece, who are how many hours ahead?
Oh, it's 10 hours ahead.
Yeah. So how are you balancing all of this?
I have to sleep quite late because my work doesn't stop till late, till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I have to wake up early in the morning because everything starts really early in LA. I manage to sleep more in the weekends, and I never skip the gym. I eat well, healthy, as much as I can. And one rule, which I love, it's not that that I push myself to do it, is that I don't drink alcohol. I think it's the source for many, many bad things happening in our lives in general.
100%.
And I don't drink at all. I go out, I go to different places like Chateau Marmont or Cipriani, and my friends, they order the best wine or drinks, tequilas, and I get a cup of tea, and people are laughing. But, it makes me feel nice. It makes me feel grounded, connected to myself. And then I sleep well,
Exactly.
which is important. But I never skip a day in the gym. I only stop one day. And that day I might go swimming or I go jogging outside. So I always do something that keeps the endorphins being high, and yes.
Because with your lifestyle, you can't afford to skip a beat. And a lot of what you do, granted, you're surrounded by alcohol all the time. So
yes,
it's
absolutely.
good to see that you can still maintain your fitness goals despite temptations and things like that. Because, well, if you don't get sleep one night, that could ruin your next day, especially with you starting so early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what is a typical regimen for you when you wake up in the morning? Because you go to the gym in the morning, I'm assuming.
The only thing that I love to do so much is drinking coffee. I'm a coffee addict, so I drink at least 3 coffees a day.
Okay.
This is something that I wouldn't miss under any circumstances. I love coffees. So I start with 2 coffees in the morning, start working, and then probably I have some screenings or premieres to cover. In the meantime, I will go to the gym at some point, before or after, or at some point. But I never do that early in the morning because I'm bombarded with emails that I have to work on them and I have to reply. So I don't do early training. Yeah.
And could you see yourself like producing something since you're so tied to
I'm
the
producing.
industry?
I'm producing my weekly show. I'm producing. I'm a host, but at the same time, I'm doing all the work behind the scenes, which is exhausting. Producing a movie, I never thought about it, but maybe, I could be, because I have read and I have interviewed so much about movies, I could be a really good judge when it comes to a script, and when it comes to Oscar nominations or any awards nominations, I know ahead in advance who's going to win. I always know. I'm very accurate in my predictions. That's another thing.
How did you learn that?
Because I watch everything and I know what the audience wants, what the Academy wants. So I can always figure out, he's going to be the winner, she's going to be the winner, this movie's going to win for adapted screenplay or cinematography. I always know. But after working years in this field, it's very natural, I think.
Okay. And so also, too, when it comes to this, a lot of people have different definitions of success, and it changes over time. what would you have said when would you say that you were successful younger versus now? Because of course you've achieved so much. So is there anything else that you feel like you have yet to prove yourself?
Oh, yes. I succeeded, and this journey took me somewhere that I wouldn't have imagined. I remember coming to LA to interview Ben Affleck, for example, and I was staying and I was staying in Beverly Hills at the Four Seasons Hotel on Doheny Drive, and then I was saying, oh my God, what a lovely place, what a lovely neighborhood. Would I be able in my life to be here? And then years ahead, I moved in this area, and I do live correspondence from this area, which is the epicenter of the world of the movie industry. So what happened to my life, and it was because of my passion, was beyond any imagination. But I think I sacrificed my personal life. I didn't manage to, I didn't pay attention to love as much as I should, and I didn't get married, I didn't have kids, so there's a price that I paid, and I don't think it's the best thing that happened in my life, and of course, something else might happen tomorrow, but so far, it's a price that I paid.
Do you see yourself do you want that later on in life?
I want it tomorrow if it's possible, but it's not the easiest thing in the world, especially in this era that everything is digitized and people are so consumed by technology.
Yeah.
Feelings and passion and love is something that goes in the margins now. It's not the epicenter of people's life, I think. So, I can't do anything about that, but I always have passion, not only for work, but also for people, for a new love.
But it also takes, like I always say, because I travel a lot like you, patients all over, but it also takes a special person that has, that's able to be patient and understand what you do and what your lifestyle is.
Exactly.
And also realizing that they're going to be second. That's like the hardest part for some people to comprehend is, well, you want them to be successful, but it also means that you're second, not first. So it's
It's tricky.
yeah, the world is different, but I hope you find that someday because you deserve it. Everyone deserves it.
Thank you.
So you've seen so many different achievements. What is the biggest achievement you have for yourself that you've achieved so far?
That I started from scratch. My parents were really nice. I lost both, and they didn't have any connection to this world. They couldn't believe that I would be able to work even in Greece, not even in Hollywood, and being a correspondent and, interviewing all these A-list celebrities that with most of them I have a great relationship, and I meet them in different occasions and we talk. They know my name. Some of them, they have my phone number. So there were things that they wouldn't imagine that would happen, and I made them so proud. And that's the biggest achievement, I think. Yeah.
And I always like to see where someone, especially you, coming from a different country, learning English, and then being who you are today. That's what the Q Effect is about. I love to highlight what people have become despite all odds. Like some people looking at you would have never thought that this is where you would be today, including myself. But being able to sit across from you is awesome, and I'm glad that you're here. But, what type of advice would you give someone who is anywhere, young, wants to be like you, someday? Like what kind of advice would you give them?
Not to take no for an answer, because I didn't. You have to disconnect from the reality of the mobile phones, laptops, technology, being able to spend some time with yourself, walking, running, but being connected to your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
And then also devote your time to your field. I mean, you have to spend time working in your field. Other than that, being optimistic, don't share a lot with people because there's so, people don't understand, especially when you're young and we have a dream, they don't believe in you. So keep your dreams to yourself and pursue them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I tell people all the time, like, because everyone puts everything on social media. Everybody don't need to know everything. Keep some stuff to yourself. You don't need to share everything with the world.
Yes.
Get
It's
there.
very expected and it's very boring.
Yeah.
And it makes people not to look so attractive and mysterious. You have to have some mystery
Yeah.
in you,
Yeah.
I think. Yes.
And then also, too, with what you've done and what you've become, was there any big lessons that you've learned along the way that also shaped you into who you are today?
Yes, that you can't trust anyone. You have to be very careful, and believe in God, and God will help you. But be honest with yourself and with other people. Yes,
That's very
That's
true.
it.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And is there anything, that you do to like keep you grounded? Like with everything you got going on, how do you stay grounded throughout all of this?
Coming from nothing, from a family that had nothing, and achieving these milestones that you mentioned, myself, I am grounded. I cannot act like I'm a Hollywood star or someone from Greece that came from a very rich background and he lives a comfortable life. I made my life being dreaming to some people, but for me, it's a constant race.
Correct. So for you, I know when you said you were a kid, you had always dreamed about, being at the Oscars and doing it. But once you got there and you were actually doing a childhood dream, how did that make you feel?
I pinched myself, but it was the outcome of a great passion. And of course, I pinched myself, but then I had to work, and I stopped Glenn Close and Ryan Seacrest and some amazing personalities. I mean, Al Pacino. So it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, I felt like being in paradise.
And I mean, it's crazy because, some people dream and they never get there. And it's for different reasons, whether it's life struggles, not knowing how to get there, depression, just a lot of things that can settle in.
I think also one thing that really, really helped me is that I was reading a lot when I was a kid, and I was reading as I was growing up in my 20s, self-help books from American authors in English. These books made me visualize even wider what I want to do. And I was visualizing traveling, I was visualizing missions, achievements, exclusive interviews with specific personalities that I very soon met. So I believe in the power of visualization like no one else. And then I kept visualizing America as being a broadcaster here and being a correspondent. And it happened. But I had very strong visualization. I remember I was en route to go to a big network in Greece because I have an appointment to talk with them about me being part of a morning show. And then the day before, I was walking in the center of Athens with a friend of mine, and I said, I feel something is coming from New York, but I don't know what it is. And she said, oh my God, what are you talking about? And then the next day, en route to this network, I went to grab a coffee in the headquarters of this network. And then I met the owner of the satellite television in New York of this network. And she saw me and she said, I want you to do a show for me in New York. Can you do it? A week after, I was in New York doing a Greek-American show in the headquarters of the Greek-American network in New York. So, I mean, this is visualization, right?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yes. So I had some crazy moments like this, and that's because I have a great intuition, and I don't know why. Yeah.
And then since you've been here, how close is now the American to Greek combination is now that you're the bridge between the two?
The ratings on a daily basis the last 5-6 years are insane, so high. So it's very intense, and people love it, and the network embraced this connection, and it's good, and we both enjoy it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I go to Greece, who can I tell that I know you and they'll hook me up?
To everyone, literally.
I'm like, hey, I know George. I'm just gonna get a picture, like, hey, and they might be like, hey, you get this for free or something. So
Yes.
that's awesome that you are. God, I just love stories where people just have just become great. You know, just because, like you said, you came from nothing. I came from nothing, and that's why I like to have people on here who would just know, okay, I came from nothing, but guess what? I'm not going to be a product of my upbringing. I'm going to be something more, right? And with that being said, what would you want your legacy to be if, you know, something happened, you know, knock on wood, it doesn't, but like, what would your legacy, what would you want your legacy to be, or what you to be remembered by?
About my great interviews. And I don't know, you know, anyone can assume anything, but I really love what I'm doing. I never insulted anyone. I never made anyone feel uncomfortable. So, you know, I'm a nice guy and I do my work and that's it. Yeah.
You know, people combine or make, you know, other countries more known to, like us, for instance, like for me, knowing more about Greece, learning that through you, like learning more about Greece culture through someone like you. I feel like there should be more of that on television to kind of just get us out of our American ways. Like, for instance, if you go to France, right, they kind of look at Americans in a certain way, you know, because a lot of times we like to force English or whatever on, or if you go to like Barcelona or Spain. So it's one of those things too, like when I go to another country, I want to learn a little bit of their language just to get by when I'm there. Like, thank you, good morning, good night,
Exactly.
things like that.
Yes.
So that's one thing I like to do, and that's why I like highlighting people from other countries as well.
For me, being here and working for my Greek networks from here, I was so surprised by how good people are American people. I think there's something genuine, something really nice in this country that keep this country moving on in a way that no other European country does. And it's about the people. The people are really nice people. They are very sweet, very nice in any state. So that was a big surprise because I didn't really expect it. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so again, we love the fact that what you're doing. I know I'm going to be following everything you do because I looked on your Instagram. I was like, he's done it all. And so as I come to LA, you know, from Atlanta, totally different, like lifestyle background. So it's nice to see the difference. And I've been fortunate, like you, to meet people I never thought I would meet from you. Like, I grew up in a small town. So having some of these clients or meeting people like you, I would have never thought in a million years that this is what I would be doing on top of taking care of people. So I'm glad that we had the opportunity to have you on here because I know you're busy, but we definitely want to stay in contact with you, and also let us know, like, how do we stay in contact? How do we follow you? How do we see what you're going to be doing next so the followers can
My
continue?
Instagram page is called George Sats, S-A-T-S. So I post most of my stuff there. Of course, there's YouTube and everything, but I give the highlights. You know, I post the highlights there, and then we'll go from there everywhere. I mean, with social media now, it's so easy.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, you heard it best. This is George. He does everything. He connects us with Greece. Y'all need to follow him for all the things. If you have questions about good eats, things like that, I know I'm going to be getting this information from him. But just stay tuned. And one thing that you can celebrate is him coming from nothing to who he is today, which is the story of a lot of people on the Q Effect. So thank you for joining in, and thank George for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.